Alright, we're back on Project Portal. If you've been following along, you know this started as a wild idea and a bunch of random parts. Today the mission changes from planning to final assembly. We've got the two-piece frame, the road structure, and a lot of technical hurdles to clear. Let's get to work.
Alright, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I changed my plans with this just a little bit. I was going to have it just one solid piece, but with how bulky it's going to start getting pretty heavy, it would be a lot easier to move if it was in two separate pieces. So what I think I'm going to do, I went out and got some 2x4s today, and I'm going to make a frame for just the door, and I'm just going to attach that onto the back side of this, and on the back of it, it'll just kind of fit like a little bit of a puzzle piece to where you can screw it on and it'll leave a complete channel around for the lighting. I think that it'll work out a lot better having it in two separate pieces, one just for moving it around for the weight and the bulk of it. The rock structure, I'm gonna have to take it off because I think it sticks out and I don't want to end up ruining that, so I made it to where I can take that off, and then I'll be able to take the whole back section off and move it in two separate pieces, three separate if you count the rock. So I think it's starting to look pretty good. I'm really impressed with the pallet wood, the way that it looks. I like the rustic feel of it. I think it's going to look really good once I get those lights in there and the door up. Oh yeah, and I got some little brackets for the shelving, and I'm going to hang them right here. The shelf will hang on the underneath side and then on the top side of this, so everything should be good there. So we'll see how that turns out, but the front is almost done. I'm starting to like the way that it's turning out. And I also bought some more gap foam that I'm going to put into here if the light shines through and I don't like the way that it looks. So I'll just blast that with some gap foam, and that will be all secure and won't let no light through. So that's my plan for that.
I've spent a lot of time on this, and looking at these corners, they aren't perfect. I get a little jealous sometimes watching those specialists who have done one thing for 50 years, like that bonsai master I watch. He's a master of one. Me? I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But the full quote is, oftentimes better than a master of one. It means I had to be the carpenter, the electrician, the painter, and the set designer to make this happen. If I bought this from a store, I'd want my money back. But since it came from my hands, it has a sentimental value you just can't buy. It's got my mistakes and my learning moments built right into it. It takes me back to being a kid in the stands at the Peoria Monster Truck Show. The smell, the lights, the raw energy. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. That's what this vault is for. But the garage never stays quiet for long. I've got two major moves coming up. Turning that spare door piece into an exploding wall display. Tearing into the mini bastard, the 33 Roadster Harley Golf Cart Hybrid. Which mission are you more excited to see next? And don't tell my wife about that marketplace find yet. You're definitely going to want to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss that transformation. It's going to take this whole display from a shelf to a scene. This is where the mission gets messy. I'm doing the electrical, the carpentry, and the set design all at once. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But that's the only way a project like this gets done. You have to be willing to fail a few times before the magic actually works. Mission RC Portal is officially in the final stretch. As you saw, we're starting with a new frame for the back of the door. The goal is to keep this in 2 separate pieces so it's not a bulky, heavy nightmare if I ever have to move it. It's about being a bit of a garage engineer, working with what you've got to make it functional. But every secret mission has its setbacks. For me, it was the cooking spray incident. After the success of the secret sauce on the drift mat, I thought I was being clever using cooking spray as a release agent for this foam, but it backfired. It turned the whole thing into a liquid mess that wouldn't react. Total fail, but that's the reality of this garage. Sometimes the experiment just leaves a mess on the floor. Now, here's a tip for the boneheads out there who want to try this. I used cardboard molds for the barriers, but if you spray foam directly onto cardboard, you're never getting it off. The secret, I lined the inside of both molds with standard packing tape. The foam won't bond to the slick surface of the tape, so once it's cured, the cardboard just peels away like a sticker. It's cheap, it's simple, and unlike the cooking spray, it actually works.
Look who's back working on the playroom. You want to know what I see him do earlier? He used cooking spray. And that's not even the funny part. The funny part is he pulled it out of a 1,000-can case. Seriously, I'm scared.
I set the wing shelves too close to the heater and they bowed right out on me. I had to improvise, hit them with wet paper towels and smash them down with a battery to pull that bend back out. It's not how they teach it in the books, but it worked. When you're a jack of all trades, you learn that sometimes a heavy battery is the most important tool in the shop.
More like joke of all trades.
Yeah, I think that's gonna look really nice. Now let's check out these little Jersey barriers I made. I think this one turned out really cool. How it has the 3 separate sections in it. And then this one looks all laid up. I thought this one was going to turn out the nicest, but I think this one actually turned out nicer. It was kind of different though. This one, I just sprayed it dry. This one, I used some cooking spray, and it did not work well with the foam. The foam wouldn't set. It like turned into liquid and just all ran out. So I had to spray foam in it several different times to finally get it to thicken up. But that one, and I learned a lesson. I had them all taped up completely all the way around, and they don't have a way to dry. So the next time I make them, I'm just going to do the form there and leave the ends open and start in the middle, spray some in the middle, let it dry, come out, spray some there, let it dry, and work my way towards the ends. I think that'll work a lot better, because whenever you have it just all in a cardboard mold, it doesn't want to dry. So that's why this looks like that. That part just wouldn't dry, and every time I'd go to peel it, it would stick because it wasn't dry. But it actually turned out really cool looking, so I'm okay with it. I'm excited though. I think this portal door is going to be really awesome. I've wanted a shelf like this for a really long time. Actually, I've wanted something like this out in my yard. I've always wanted to build something just like this, but have the door functional to where you can open it up and walk through, and put it out in my yard and see how many people go through it. I bet you there'd be quite a few people that do, but I'm weird. All right, well, that's the update, and I'll get back to it. It's getting close.
The foam was a disaster, and Crankshaft won't let me hear the end of it. But even with the mess, I could see the potential. I cleaned up the best I could and set a test barrier under the tree with my son's construction trucks. It's funny, seeing it scaled out with the construction trucks told me I was on the right track. Now, don't think I went out and bought a fancy studio lighting kit for this. A true master of none knows how to repurpose a win. I actually liberated these lights from our Christmas decorations. The setup, that deep blue glow at the bottom and the laser light peeking through the keyhole, those were just a couple of outdoor Christmas lights I had lying around. I figured since they were done lighting up the yard, they might as well light up a portal. It just goes to show you don't need a massive budget. You just need to look at what's already in your garage with fresh eyes. had to move past the fail and focus on the engineering. One big issue was the weight. The SCX6 is a beast, and I didn't want the tires to get flat spots sitting on this rock structure forever. So I engineered a magic trick, hidden wood supports that take the full weight of the truck off the suspension, while making it look like it's just resting naturally on the terrain. It's those small details that make a mission successful. I had a choice to make with this weighted barrier. I could have just set it on top of the road structure I built for underneath the trucks, but I wanted this thing bulletproof. The fix. Because I had that flat wood piece in the bottom for weight, I decided to mount it directly to the shelf structure of the door portal itself. Now the Christmas tree isn't just sitting there, it's part of the foundation. It keeps the road clear and the whole display locked in, so when I'm moving trucks around, nothing budges. For now, the cars and trucks are holding down the fort, keeping the spots warm for the legends, the RC10 and the Raider Pro. It might take a year or two to track them down, but the vault is ready. But a smuggler never stays idle. I've already secured the body for the next project, a 33 Roadster. The wife doesn't know about this one yet, and honestly, the plan is still fluid. In my head, I'm seeing candy apple red and pearl white, but I tend to wing it. As the budget and the build move along, it might change. That's just how I work. I'm currently working out a deal for the Guts, a 60s Harley-Davidson golf cart. He's down to 500, but I'm hoping to walk away with it for closer to 350. If the deal closes, we're calling the build the Mini Bastard. Mission, RC Portal. Accomplished. Next mission, classified.
Like, it looks nice. It looks really nice. Don't it? You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah? But I think it's missing something. I think it could look a little bit better.
Yeah.
Alright, ready? Look at this. Now snap.
It worked. This is the end of this video, but you can watch more only if my dad says so, if you can do more. Subscribe!